For 2 years, and mechanical tests for heavy vehicle supports in Belgium and also in Sweden. So we are here to unplug you and connect you to the future, and we're eager to see you. I have the booth over there to help you unconnect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna, for the pitch. Now we will go to France with Julien Chamuchin from Fructuo. He will present his platform. Please.
Hi everyone, so Julien from Fructuo. Fructuo is a French company based in Paris, and we are specialized in collecting and analyzing data on shared mobility services. Could be shared bikes, shared scooters, shared mopeds, or shared cars. If you are a mass service operator, if you are a public transport operator, if you're a city, you may be interested to get access to real-time data on shared vehicles in your city to display this information to your end user. And we make things easier to our customers by providing a single data feed, which is aggregating and combining, normalizing data from more than 200 different services. So, as I mentioned, we are aggregating data from shared bikes, from shared scooters, from shared mopeds, and from shared cars. And this is available through a single data feed based on a GraphQL protocol. So it's really easier for partners to use this instead of trying to connect themselves to thousands of different services, especially in a very dynamic market like the market of shared mobility, where you have new services and new cities being launched every week. So this service is being used, for example, by the French railway company SNCF because they want to provide to their end user alternative options when they want to go to a train station or to leave a train station rather than using their own individual cars. So they're using API to display in their app on the websites all the shared scooters and all the shared bikes and mopeds available around train station in France. So that's one of the use case of our data flow API. But it's not. Our business is not only to make this data available in real time, we're also interested in trying to understand the dynamic of the market. So we also provide the business intelligence tools about shared mobility. It's called City Dive. It's a dashboard. It's a data platform which is monitoring more than 100. So yeah, the slide needs to be updated. We're talking of more than 100 European cities. And for each city, we're able to share with the customers data on the size, the number of operators for each type of service, the number of vehicles available, the percentage of vehicle being used every day, the number of trips, the distribution of the vehicles in the city, the origin and destinations of the trips within the city. So this is information which is quite relevant for shared mobility operators in order to improve their operations, but also to cities, to urbanism agencies, insurance companies, and all the people involved in the development of the urban mobility. We have around 25 customers now using this service, car manufacturers, shared mobility operators, public transport companies, consulting firms, and we are getting traction, so we have more customers. And we hope to have more customers after this event in Barcelona. So this is it. If you want to get in touch with us, we have a booth just here. And by the way, I just want to mention that we have just released a report. It's a quarterly report. That's the 3rd edition. And it's just been released. So if you want to have a copy of this release, it's a European Shared Mobility Index. So you have many facts about the market, shared mopeds, shared cars, in 16 European cities. So if you're interested to get this report, please meet us at the booth, which is right here. Thank you.
you very much, Julian, for the presentation. We will go to Spain with HomiHub. Enzo Zamora will perform the presentation. 1 minute, please. And be aware that most of our startups has stands here. So in case that you have any questions or do you want to offer any business opportunity, please feel free to visit them and please expose the possible synergies for them. Enzo, the floor is yours.
There are more than 125 million garages in Europe and USA alone, and this includes more than 9 million that we find in Spain. For all of them, HomiHub was born with a mission to unlock the full potential of garages to make them a valuable space in people's lives. As a first step, we have developed a plug-and-play universal solution that turns any garage into a smart one, turning the garage into a smartphone and enabling the users to control, monitor, and manage access anywhere and anytime. But we didn't stop here. Using the accessibility of garages and the power of HomiHub technology, we have created a marketplace of new generation services, enabling the users to get the full potential out of their garage with services such as unattended deliveries, EV, block sharing economy, or connected cars. This is the reason why we have been connecting different industries and being awarded by more than 15 national and international awards from private and public institutions. In the delivery category, last mile courier operators integrate, so we turn the garage into a secure delivery point at any time, basically turning the garage of single family homes into a giant mailbox at any time, allowing the end users to not have to wait at home for the packages or deal with the failed deliveries, and most importantly, solving the failed deliveries for the last mile logistic industries and all the impact that it has in mobility. This model also allows us not only to get hardware revenue, but also recurrent software revenue, and most importantly, reach more residential garages into a fast way due to the scalability we generate through our new generation services partners and all the force they have in marketing, sales, and distribution force. As the innovation director of Correo said, we are enabling companies like them not only to create businesses, but also reducing costs and most importantly, reducing their CO2 footprint in the last mile with this type of solutions. For taking this into the market, we have a solid team with dynamics and skills, perform as a perfect founding formula with a Harker, a Hazel, and a Hostler, but most importantly, complemented a very strong team of internal team advisors and investors. Together, we have gathered many milestones with which we can highlight. We launched into the market last year, and we have reached more than 5,000 users, not only in quantity, but also in quality, with 4.7 out of 5 stars in all the reviews we have. And we got the validation of new generation services, gathering the most important relevant players in the Spanish and European market, Correos and Seur for deliveries, Iberdrola and Naturgy for the EV block sharing economy, and most importantly, the connected cars with Ford Motors in Europe, which we recently released the first technological advance with them. This is the reason why by accomplishing our mission, we not only create a sustainable business, but most importantly, an impact in the European Green Deal by making last mile efficiency, boosting electric vehicle adoption, and paving the way towards autonomous vehicle. To scale this fast into the market, we're currently raising our next round of 1 million that can bring us to reach 5 million euros in revenue, more than 1.5 million euros and 24 to 36 months break even in the next years. And also being attractive for companies, acquisitions like the one done from Amazon, or companies like Assa Abloy and so on. Our last round was oversubscribed by 160%, so if you are interested, invested, make sure you reach us soon. And in HomiHub, our mission is to unlock the full potential of garages, and we're here to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this amazing pitch from HomiHub. Let's go jump to France, from Spain to France, with Paulina from NOT, who will present the presentation of this service. Paulina, are you here? Well, it seems that we don't have Paulina here. So, MIP, Guillermo Campomor, from MIP, will present his solutions, also from Spain as well. Thank you very much for being here today. And
Good morning, everyone. This is Guillermo Campoamor. I'm the CEO and co-founder of MIP. And I'm going to ask you a question. How many of you have experienced at least one of these pain points that you can see here on the TV today? This is because our current transportation system lacks infrastructure and accommodation to accommodate today's needs. And this is going to get even worse in the future because the people are moving to the cities more and more. And here is the solution, MIP. All the transportation of your city in one app. That means that users can plan, book, and pay without leaving the app. And not only that, we also include different modes of validation systems, such as QR codes, EMB, ticketless, and so on. Our platform is only here in Southern Europe. We are now moving to the US and South America, but we always approach every deployment with a different characteristics in a different way. So that's why it's the local approach. And on top of that, we include MIPath. MIPath is a data tool that provides a unique insight to the whole user journey. And what is the mobility as a service? This is the underlying consumer pattern that we want to use in every deployment, and that means a full range of intermodal solutions where you can now start your journey on a bus and finish on a nearby scooter. Also using ticketless, all our payments are through the app. We increase sustainable mobility. We encourage our users to move around the way they please. That's why it's personalized by using an equalizer so they can move around in a more sustainable way, faster or cheaper, depends on the moment. And with our solution, we can go from a disconnected and fragmented ecosystem to a connected one. Of course, the market is huge, and that's because there's several factors that are increasing the speed of the adoption of mobility as a service. And we estimate that by 2025, almost 50% of the journeys will be replaced by a mobility as a service solution. Our progress since we have started in 2017 is more or less the following. We have integrated more than 40 operators. You can see here an example of them in several verticals. And also, we have deployed our solution and other solutions that we are underneath as a white label solution in more than 10 cities and 4 different countries. The leadership team, we are a team comprised by more than 50 people, but those are the C-level team that are coming from different backgrounds, and they have a very good expertise to tackle this challenge. So I just want to finish with the key takeaways. Why us? Because we are a proven solution that you can download, either MIP or other white label solutions. We are backed by professional investors. We have raised almost 9 million euros. We have a huge team, multidisciplinary team with more than 25 years of expertise in the transportation alone and other sectors. And we believe that with our solution, we can create new modes of mobility, and on top of that, create the truly mobility as a service solution that everyone is hoping for. So thank you for your attention, and if you want to reach us, you have my email on the screen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Guillermo, for the presentation. They have not stuck here, they have at ETEX. If you want to meet them and further speak, please feel free. Now we will jump to Norway with our friends from Nivel, who wants to provide a solution to control all micromobility in cities. The speaker would be the co-founder and CEO, Harold. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Harold, the CEO and co-founder of Nivel, and we are here to help cities regulate micromobility better, so you get tidier and better streets and better mobility. Because we all want these nice little cities which is human-centric and livable, but we ended up here. We got all these scooters on board, and the cities didn't know how to respond. They were forbidding them, or they were putting up simple rules and everything, and we thought we should do this in a better way. We have to get the best out of the mobility and also balance the different needs of the city. So we built a digital regulation tool which is standardized, enabling the cities to regain control of their public ground and reaching their societal goals by putting all this data to work. And it's all dynamic, and it can be updated whenever you want. It works with a two-way data integration. So on the one side, the cities draw zones in our tool with different rules like no-go zones and no parking zones and slow zones and stuff, and push that to all the operators. And on the other side, the operators push their data back to us, so we got the full overview, and we can calculate the pricing and the subsidies or whatever you need to do on that basis. So how do we get the best out of micromobility? Of course, there's a lot of data. You can do a lot of analytics on it, but it's getting more interesting when you're putting the data to work. So when you do real digital regulation, then you can get the better distribution of the scooters, and you can get the tidier streets, fewer accidents, and of course you can help reaching your emission targets with less congestion. And we can even help the cities get a little bit of income with a public space fee. And this is working. We are working with several Norwegian cities, and we are now expanding to Europe and beyond. And we are integrating already with these major scooter players in the world, and we are looking forward to getting to other cities. So if you are a city and you want to start doing digital regulation, apart from hiring in us, this is what you should do. You should demand two-way data sharing from the scooter or the micromobility operators before they deliver their service. You should set a price tag on the public ground, and of course, once you've done that, you can adjust the regulation dynamically as you learn how things are working and change as you go. This is the way to do things in the future. It's data with an impact. You have to control and not just understand what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. There is a German startup that was not able to join today, but they have sent us a recorded video. We will try again. One minute, please. One minute, please. We are sorting this, and we will continue.
Hello everybody. My name is Mark, and I'm Can-Do Officer at Autobahn. Traffic jams, overcrowded drains, gridlocks, we all know that from personal experience. On top of that, we have 20% of global CO2 emissions coming from transportation. That's the reason why we have founded Autobahn 2 years ago. And with Autobahn, we're engineering an entirely new transportation system that will move above today's traffic. And that transportation system will be for people as well as for goods. On inner-city connections, we will travel with speeds up to 60 kilometers per hour. Intercities, we're even able to go 250 kilometers per hour. What's cool about it? It's on demand, it's emission-free, so it's sustainable, and it's a point-to-point connection. You might say now, well, cool, 2 years and brought you to this model. Not quite. Half a year after this model, half a year after founding Autobahn, basically, we were able to do a first full-scale tour in our office, and that's what we're going to do together now. So I'm taking out my app, and I will simply order me my personal gondola to a specific spot. So please feel free to follow me. I just placed an order for my Autobahn, and it's right now approaching to the destination I ordered it to. And once we open up that door, here it arrives. A one-seater cabin with a lot of cozy atmosphere, with a massage seat. And let's have a very cool, short tour now to the office. So see you in a second. I'm traveling right now emission-free as we are running on electric engines. Obviously, it was on-demand service. And obviously, in this case, it's a point-to-point connection that we're offering here. So here I am in the office. The setup I was running with right now is even the second generation of our running gear as well as for the cabin. And what's next now? Well, we're going to build a lot more stuff. Next year, we'll start to build up an outdoor reference track in the south of Munich. This will be around 1 kilometer in length. And that's the place where we want to bring this engineering piece to life. So if you want to join that journey, whether as a team member, as a partner, or an investor, just let us know. Reach out to us. We're very happy to talk to you guys. Thank you so much.
Hope that you enjoyed. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues, but we managed to do it, to fix them. So we hope that you enjoyed the presentation of Autobahn. As every startup which face challenges, and in reality this is a real presentation, we face challenges, we solve them. This is what every day our successful startups does. So we manage. Let's go back with Paulina from France, who will present us the solution for fixed dogs. Paulina, whenever you want, the floor is yours. 1 minute, please. No, you can go. I was just kidding. Here.
Hey, hi everyone. Thanks very much to give up your lunch to be in here and listen to the presentation. That's very cool. So my name is Paulina, I'm from France, and here talking now about our fixed docking and charging infrastructure for scooters. Since the scooter's there, so you know how it looks like. And you may be already seen this on the streets of your city. So this one is taken in Marseille. Now the situation is going a bit better, but we still have a lot of issues going with the scooter and bike sharing in micro-mobility areas. And that's why we are here, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring the docking and charging infrastructure to improve this service. Why dog rocks? Because they bring order on the city streets. Instead of putting them in the virtual stations or just laying them on the ground like you see it in many places, we fix them on the stations. You can reduce the vandalism of bike. To give you an example, on one of our networks in Strasbourg, we have 0 destroyed scooters for 12 months, which is quite impressive because only authorized users can take the scooter out of the station, and most stations are located in some secured areas. You can control the energy supply, you can use solar power energy, you can fix the stations near the main partners in the cities like railways or parking lots and really control how your scooters are charged. And because you're charging the scooters directly on the stations, you reduce the operational cost. So if you look on the cost structure for the sharing micro-mobility services, you can see that up to 60% of expenses are related to the charging because every day you need to send the truck, collect scooters or the batteries, which is much better, but still takes a lot of space, and then bring them back on the street. which decrease the availability of the system and also a lot of cost a lot of money. And then it's also related with the environmental stability because again, if you send trucks to collect batteries, you consume a lot of CO2. That's why docks are very cool, and that's what we're doing. We developed the universal docking station to charge and to lock scooters. When I'm saying it universal, it means we can charge any scooter which is now produced for the sharing businesses like Segway or Kai models using our universal sleeve, which is just retrofitted on the existing scooters or just put on the scooters on the factory. We also have all the software integrations. You can have our system all included with the scooters, stations, and the application, or you can just order our stations if you have already running fleets of scooters and use the API to connect with the backend of the operator. We have today more than 200 stations installed, a little bit in Europe, mostly in France and Spain and Belgium, now open in industry as well, and also opened it in Tashkent in Uzbekistan, which is very far. I don't know why, don't ask me. And also in America and the United States, just now it's in shipping containers coming there. Well, thank you very much. We have a small booth over there. It's disappointing we don't have a station because it was too expensive to bring it here. But we can show you all the demos on the videos and then talk more about the system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paulina. We will travel now to Portugal with one recorded presentation from Parquio, from Portugal.
Hi, we are Parquio. Did you know there is more than 100,000 municipalities in Europe which have a parking problem? Did you know there is more than 100 parking payment applications worldwide? 20 new evolve each year, and 20 new or 20 old disappear each year. It's a hard market. And the problem is still not solved. For example, Berlin has 5 parking applications. The enforcement is super difficult. And there are many sensor or camera startups. For example, some cities are piloting them, few, even more than 10 in the same time. And still they don't have the solution. And the solution is very simple. It's a unified platform which allows municipalities and corporations to manage their parking rules. That's it. It's so simple. Of course, it has more interfaces and it connects the user, the parking space, the owner, and helps them to utilize it. We are connecting the whole parking market. The parking market is containing on-street parking, which is mainly also smart cities. There is off-street, hotels, hospitals, car parks, business centers, anything which is behind a barrier, any kind of barrier. And there is a shared parking, private spaces which are available during the day, and the office spaces which are usually available during the night. Did you know that even more than 4 times more parking spaces are available in several places in the world thanks to this shared park model? It's super comfortable for drivers. They find parking space, they park, they do whatever they need, and then they leave and the transaction is done on behind. It's very easy for the municipalities. We call it a seamless parking because everything is automated. They save lots of costs on the people, and also the fine management is automatic. So where we earn the money? So we are approaching municipalities because we have prices below the 10 thresholds, so it's very easy to get there. We charge monthly fees per module, we have service level agreement fees, and we also charge the transaction fees for drivers. In this moment we are generating more than 15,000 euros revenue a month. We are in more than 22 countries, we have more than 25,000 parking spaces. We are negotiating with partners in different countries. There are lots of simple payment applications which do not bring the added value, and we are the only application which was so far able to expand and also bring the innovation. We have an amazing team. Robert and myself, we already exited a few companies before. We have a great CTO who was managing development in a very huge software development company. We have Maros Mozola, who helped to develop distribution partnership for Asset and K7 Computer and Slido. And we have our future CEO, who is a really experienced manager and will help us and invest himself for a year to bring the ParkU to next level. So, do you think about tomorrow? About me to join you to this amazing journey?
Hope that you enjoyed this presentation. As I said, unfortunately they were not able to come. However, they were represented, and we hope that you find this solution really interesting. And we will go back to Spain with Shuttle. Jonas, please come here. It's a little bit tricky, but please, you can present your solution. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, thank you so much. The Shuttle Mobility Platform is a platform we're developing since 2016, and it enables bus operators, public authorities, and even corporations to launch, implement, and manage on-demand transportation operations. So, in the public transportation world, we've obviously enabled the public transportation of mainly small to medium communities and municipalities in avoiding the operational costs of having buses running around half empty. Within that platform, what we can actually do is implement fixed routes, dynamic routes. So dynamic routes is origin, destination is fixed, but any virtual stop in the middle can be activated based on demand. And then going as far as door-to-door for the most free of all the demand responsive transportation operational models. The platform is comprised of a passenger app, of course, the booking platform for the user. The driver application is a navigation system interfering and interfacing with the driver, informing them of the routes generated, and obviously the manager dashboard as a tool to supervise the operation. The question of where to deploy, or more specifically how to deploy, is something that we support our clients with. We have a mobility team, we have tools, and we have experience across 26 different operations on how, where, with what fleet, during what times, to implement demand responsive transportation. As far as the user experience, this is something we've been working on very closely. It's very important that the user flow is familiar, intuitive, and easy when booking. The user does not need to know how many vehicles are operating in the area, they just need to receive the best offer. That's what our algorithms do. They look at all the available vehicles either on demand or in a pre-booked way and respond with the best possible offer. As far as algorithm possibilities, we have clients who have sustainability objectives, which means we have algorithms which pool passengers, therefore making every movement the vehicle is doing as sustainable as possible. And we have algorithm configurations on the other end of the spectrum which favor lower waiting times, lower travel times, and every hybrid configuration in the middle. We have simulation tools which allow us to gain insights on how our algorithms will solve for a specific data demand set without launching any vehicles on the roads. We also have a very comprehensive analysis and metrics system which allow us to provide all the insights necessary to our client to know how the operation is progressing. As I said, we have 26 different operations, mostly in Europe, and we do have experiences in Japan and Brazil. Everything from rural to suburban to urban to corporate to autonomous vehicles to integrated mobility within a mobility as a service platform through APIs, and obviously school transportation and transportation for non-emergency patients. We've been recently acquired by Swivel. Swivel is a Dubai-based company who specifically works on fixed route technology, and together with our technology we're working towards the end-to-end mobility platform which will allow us to move towards net zero on the objectives we set as a society towards 2030. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the pitch. We will remain in Spain with Judith from a Smart Point. They have a stand really next to here, so if you later on want to it's charging. And the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, thank you very much Albert. So my name is Judith Ipshaber, and today I'm going to present to you Smart Point, the zero carbon delivery network for our cities. Before anything, I wanted to present to you Alex. Alex is between 18 to 38. He lives in one of the biggest cities in the world, and on an average he orders around 10 packages per month. Alex, as you see, is super happy. He's having a great time. What Alex doesn't know is all the external negative effects that the delivery at home has on our cities. What does that mean exactly? It means that every time a delivery is made, a truck enters the city. On an average, it stays between 3 to 4 minutes parked very badly in double lines, knowing that actually only in Barcelona, as an example, around 30% of deliveries fail because people are not at home. And that amounts to a very high cost for the couriers and the retailers. On the city side, it's also a huge cost, but we don't see it. In Barcelona, again, only, the freight delivery is responsible for 40% of the traffic and 20% of the emissions. So urban goods delivery is a real problem for cities. When we thought about it at Smart Point many years ago, we decided to manufacture a locker, an open source delivery locker that would be open for all couriers to use. We've been installing this locker in many different private facilities in the past 5 years. We are now present in 5 countries. What do those lockers mean? It means that the client does not have to wait for its package anymore. It's the package that waits for the client where the locker is. Thanks to that, we have a very high satisfaction rates. We've been installing those lockers in many different areas. We go from co-workings to offices to government institutions and residential communities. Now you're going to tell me, okay, perfect, that's for private facilities. Now, how is it helping the city, right? So we're taking it now a step further, and we're bringing the locker on the streets, on your city streets, so that the delivery is available for any citizen to use. But we don't just stay there. We also do a unique circular route done by an electric vehicle, going to all the different smart points that we have in the city and doing a very high volume delivery. We are able to do 600 deliveries in an hour, as an example. So that enables us to do a zero CO2 emissions delivery network and take out at least 25% of the traffic polluting vans of our city. How do we do it? We create a reception point at the city's edge where all couriers go to deliver their goods. We collect them, we scan them, we register them, and we send a text message, a simple text message to the users so that they can have access to the map and select exactly the smart points where they're going to want their goods to be delivered to. Once we know where to deliver the goods, we start with our circular route, and we know exactly at which time we're going to go to which smart point in the city. At any time of this process, the user can change the location of the smart point that he wants his goods to be delivered to. Basically, what's happening today in cities regarding deliveries is an increasing demand, a constant increasing demand. Our solution enables us to absorb this demand because we can include as many smart points as we want. We have seen that deliveries are a real problem for cities, 40% of traffic. We are taking it lower. And all the emissions that are resulting from traffic deliveries are currently going down to zero with our solution. So we are Smart Points. We are present in 2 different stands here in the Smart City Expo. One is just over there, and we have one in the Spanish stand where you can actually have a demonstration of how the whole system of the locker works. It would be a pleasure to meet you there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Judith. We will go back to France with Thibaut from Villanova. Let me prepare the presentation for you. Be aware that all the startups are here, so in case that you have any question or possible business, you will be able to find all of them. Thibaut?
Hi everyone. You hear me right? Yeah. So my name is Thibaut Castagne. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Vianova. We're a Paris-based startup, and we basically specialize on mobility intelligence from connected vehicles. So in a sense, you have like three main trends today. You have explosion of new vehicles and services. So new vehicles like e-scooters, new services, shared mobility. This is explosion basically impacts a lot cities with a lot of numbers of operators in cities. Second, you have the rise of IoT and big data. So all of these vehicles are actually getting connected, which is a huge opportunity for transport authorities. And the third is sustainable cities are becoming gatekeepers, which means basically from now on, they will be the one actually dictating the rules of who is actually entering the city and how to use the public space. All of this, the main issue with that is how do you actually collect this data? So how do you actually integrate delivery vans, e-scooters, autonomous vehicles in the city? All of them are connected, all of them basically provide data, but how do you actually gather all this data? And today you have businesses, technical and regulatory hurdles to actually aggregate this data. We actually at Vianova, we place ourselves as a trusted third party to facilitate and secure data sharing. So we actually connect to all mobility operators, connected fleet managers and so on, integrate this data, aggregate it, and provide use cases for cities, transport authorities, public transport, and so on. So in a sense, it's fully self-service. So you have the marketplace. You can subscribe here basically to any sort of mobility data source you wish for, micro-mobility operators, connected cars, delivery services, car sharing, and so on. This basically is going through like an intelligence system, and then you basically receive all this intelligence on a web dashboard. We have a lot of clients at the moment. We are the largest mobility aggregator in Europe, and we work today with 40 cities across Europe and worldwide. We also work with consultancy companies, with OEMs, and public transport operators. So an example of like all the operators that we work with currently, we have data agreements with them, which basically allow us to provision the data very securely and rapidly for you. An example also of our work is the Corona lanes that were built in Brussels post-COVID lockdown. So we use the telemetries from e-scooters and e-bikes to basically aggregate data to show the most used roads in the city and compare that to the existing cycling infrastructure. We were able basically to help Brussels mobility into creating this 40 kilometer of new lanes, and we saw a micro-mobility traffic multiplied by 5 on these roads. An example is also the Geo Fencing Regulations. As you know, like free-floating mobility is impacting public space very largely. And here we work with Northamptonshire as well as with Voy to actually collaborate together on creating regulations in the city of Northampton and the nearby towns on parking, low speed zone and incentives parking zones to actually make sure that we're respecting as much as possible public space. As you can see here on the top right, the fleet size of Voy tripled in 6 months, and the number of complaints and infractions basically were steady. So it's possible actually to have free-floating mobility and expand in terms of fleet size while keeping basically a public space tidy. So this is the team. We're based in Paris, Berlin, and London. And I would be happy to answer more of your questions on my booth just right behind you. Over there, it's written Vianova. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Two last startups to present. We will go back to Asimov from Spain, specialized in road safety. They will not.
I am Steve Arañano from Asimov. Roads change, and we need to keep them safe. Because only in Europe, every year, and in at least 30% of these car crashes, the road infrastructure has played a role. Now, within the road infrastructure, just improving road signage has proven to be the most cost-effective way to reduce the number of crashes, between 24 and up to 87%. To improve road infrastructure, road authorities need to perform inspections that are slow and labor-intensive, dangerous, and fully manual, and quite expensive, so they are done every several years, if ever, out of the main highways. And there is a critical need for improvement in our roads. We need to improve inspections for better, safer roads. We need to perform them more frequently. And for that, we need a flexible process that will provide traceable results in a systematic way. Automation can help road maintenance teams in their daily work. At Asimov, we have developed the Autonomous Road Inspector. We install small commercial IoT devices on board the vehicles of the maintenance fleet that will gather video and data of the road and send them to our servers in the cloud. There, we analyze them using our specialized AI models and extract the useful information that we make available to the road maintenance teams at the Traffic Management Center. In this way, we can automate the creation or the update of digital traffic sign inventories and support in regularly monitoring it. We also enable remote monitoring of roadwork signage. And for the road surface, we can detect and monitor the cracks, potholes, and other irregularities. Keeping roads in good condition is a responsibility of the public authorities. Asimov services can help to dramatically increase efficiency of road maintenance works at a fraction of the cost and helping to save hundreds of lives. This is a worldwide market as every country needs to maintain their road network. And about Asimov. This is the main management team, senior technical profiles. We have been awarded several prizes and recognitions, both at national and international level. We have experience in urban and interurban environments, working directly with public authorities or with specialized contractors. We are Asimov, and we keep roads safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the effort of, but we will finish this event that we hope that you enjoyed all the presentation of our startups with Bonzu from Spain. The speaker will be Felipe Hidalgo. 1 minute, I will prepare the presentation. And at least but not last, Felipe from Bonzu.
Thanks, Albert. Well, I will try to make it brief as we already passed a lot of time. I'm Felipe and I'm the COO of Bonzu. So let me ask you a question. Have you had this feeling? I bet if you're an e-commerce shopper, probably you do. There's a frustration nowadays when companies deliver you packages to your house. And why is this happening? Basically because Amazon has raised the bar, and now we expect all the retailers to be as good as Amazon delivery, and this is not the actual truth. So just the fact 92% of the consumers who buy expect that experience is the way that the retailer takes care of them. So this is really important for us and consumers, but there's also a lot of issues happening with the other two actors in the last mile delivery. In this matrix, we can see that retailers are facing a lot of issues because they have a fragmented delivery network with X number of delivery providers, and they don't have visibility over what's going on with their providers. On the other side, the operators, they are facing a huge volume of deliveries, increasing every day more, and they don't have the technology to be able to approach this increase. So at Bonzu, we provide a tech ecosystem. We are a software platform that integrates retailers and logistics operators in a single platform to be able to excel these consumer expectations with real-time notifications and all the information integrated in one platform. So we were born here in Barcelona in 2018. We are 34 employees. Approximately 2.5 million deliveries we orchestrate every year. with clients, well, like the ones you can see on the screen. And our software is basically composed of several modules, but we have a control tower that is where retailers or logistics operators can have total visibility over the operations, as well as the end consumers with real-time notifications and alerts. There's a mobile app also for logistics companies that they don't have the actual proper technology to deliver. Well, our business model is based on, we are a SaaS company with different plans for logistics and retail companies. This is our team, where we have, as I mentioned, 34 employees, and we are backed by several investors here in Europe. We have recently closed a $1.5 million round, and we are looking forward for the next round in 2022. Series A from 4 to 6 million. So if you're interested, we have a booth over there, and we can discuss all your questions. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for being here, especially to our startups, participant startups who have joined from around Europe, to all of the attendees, from press, corporates, possible investors. We hope that you enjoyed all the presentations and the opportunities of collaboration. They are really, really interesting. They are disruptive solutions that may help the urban mobility landscape nowadays. From CARNET, we will continue to support them. We will continue presenting opportunities of networking and to improve our cities and the life of citizens. At least but not last, thank you very much for being here today. And be aware that you may find most of our startups in their booth, and you can offer them possible synergies. You can ask them questions. They will be more than willing to answer. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for coming.